Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Welcome to another lecture, and in today's lecture we are going to cover the third chapter of our book, the name of which is Dr. Talimeren A.O., the Football Wizard. Now this story that we are going to read is basically a biography of Dr. Talimeren. Now first of all, who was Dr. Talimeren A.O.? This is what the story is telling us about. Now, he has been referred to as the football wizard. Wizard is somebody who is a pro in something, who outshines everyone. There's nobody better than a wizard in any field. You have a technology wizard, you have a football wizard, as we are going to do this. So we will be reading about this man who was a doctor. Obviously, we can see it, the title is given to his name. But apart from being a doctor, he was also a brilliant, he was an ace footballer. So this story is about him. Now first, how did he get this name, Talimeren? Now, Talimeren, as it is given in the vocabulary of your book as well, Tali means more and Ren means something which is very important. So basically, this name was given to him because he belonged to Nagaland. Now this village, he belonged to a very small village in the district of Nagaland. This village is 900 years old. And since his father thought him to be a special person, therefore such a name is given after the name of the city, after the name of this village in Nagaland. So let us start reading about him. Okay. So, we are going to read the story of a man who made India proud. So, Dr. Talimeren A.O. was born in Changki village on 28 January 1980 to Reverend Subongwati Ningdangri and his wife Muan Sangla Chang. Nature endowed Talimeren with sharp features, and as an adult, he stood tall of 5'10" barefoot. He also had a towering personality with a booming voice. People who met him for the first time were always momentarily taken aback by his sheer presence. He was a refined gentleman and well-versed in all matters and was very articulate. So, where was Dr. Talimeren born? He was born in Changki village. This is one of the oldest villages that we have in Nagaland. On 28 January 1918, who were his parents, Reverend Subongwati Ningdangri. Now, Reverend is a title which is given to the head of somebody who is a clergyman. So, he was Reverend Subongwati Ningdangri, was his father, and his mother was Muan Sangla Chang. Now, nature endowed. Endowed means provided. So, nature provided Talimeren with very sharp features. So, his features, his physical features were very good. They were very sharp. As an adult, he stood all of 5'10" barefoot. When he was a grown-up, when he was an adult, his height was as high as 5'10", and he used to be always barefooted. He did not wear any shoes, he did not wear any slippers, he was always barefoot. He also had a towering personality. Now we all know what is a tower. Tower is something which is very tall. So if we are using this adjective along with somebody's personality, so you can very well make out that we are talking about the great and the impactful personality that that person had, with a booming voice. So his voice was very, very sharp and it left an impression on whosoever he talked to. and people who met him for the first time, whosoever would meet him for the first time, they were always momentarily taken aback, shocked, momentarily for some time. So anyone who would see him for the first time would always get shocked to see such a brilliant, such an impressive personality in front of them. He was a refined gentleman, somebody who's very well-mannered, somebody who has no flaw, somebody who has nothing wrong with him. He was well-versed in all matters, he was well informed about everything, and he was very articulate, he was very expressive, he could express himself very well. Talimeren was fortunate that his football talents were recognized and constructively utilized from early childhood. While he was still at school, he impressed not only the locals but even the American missionaries with his football skills. He observed that if guided in the right manner, he could one day become a great. So, Talimeren was fortunate. Fortunate means lucky. So, Talimeren was very lucky that his talent, how good he was at the football, that was recognized by people at a very early age and was constructively utilized, in a right manner. His football skills were not only recognized by people, but they were also channeled in the right direction. Everybody guided him what to do and what not to do, so that his football skills are only going to get better. While he was still at school, he impressed not only the locals but the American missionaries with his football skills. They observed that if guided in the right manner, he could one day become a great footballer. So now, when he was a kid, he not only impressed the locals, so the people of his village, they were not the only ones who were impressed by his football skills, but the American missionaries. Now, who are missionaries? Basically, the people who are on a mission. And these missionaries are, these are those people who are in connect with the God. They are on the path of finding God, finding truth, finding kindness. So, these are those missionaries who are always connected with God. So, there were a few American missionaries also who lived in his village. And they were also very impressed, they were also very happy with his football skills. And they believed that if Dr. Talimeren is guided in the right manner, if right guidance and direction is given to him, then he will become a great. In 1938, while his first year ICSC at Cotton College, Talimeren became captain of the football team. It was a tradition in Assam then for the two colleges, Cotton College and Murari Chand College of Sylhet, to play friendly football match every year. Though the captain of the Cotton College football team, Talimeren was also taking his ISC final examination, which was crucial for him. His main concern was upholding the name and reputation of the Nagas. He was the only Naga studying science at the time, and perhaps he felt that failure in the examination would reflect badly. So, in 1938, he was in ISC. What is ISC? The Intermediate in Science. So, he was in his college, he was studying a science course at Cotton College, which was in Assam. And in that duration, he was a part of the college football team as well. Now, in those days, in the Assam, there was a tradition, it was a custom that the two colleges, Cotton College and Murari Chand College of Sylhet, they used to play friendly matches with each other every year. Now, each college alternately hosted the matches. So, alternately means if one year Cotton College is hosting the match, then the other year Murari Chand will host, then again Cotton College, and so on and so forth. And this time it was the turn of Murari Chand College of Sylhet to host the match. Now, the captain of the Cotton College was none other than Talimeren. And since he was in the final year of his science examination, this was very crucial, this was very important for him. His main concern, the reason of his worry was that he had to uphold the name and reputation of Nagas. Uphold, to keep something very high. He had a very big responsibility over his shoulders, and that responsibility was to make sure that the name, the reputation of Nagaland is always high, that the people think good about this place and the people. He was the only Naga, he was the only Nagaland, a person from Nagaland who was studying science at that time. And he believed that if for any reason he would fail in the examination, then that would reflect badly on his people. Reflect badly means that is going to affect the people of his country, of his village in a very bad manner. They are having, they had very high hopes with him. He was the only Naga student studying science. So he did not want to disappoint him. Talimeren requested the principal and the professor in charge to exempt him from playing the matches and to replace him with someone else. Refusing to take no for an answer, they told him, Mr. A, you have to lead the college team by all means. Talimeren had already appeared for all except one paper of the examination. Going to Sylhet would mean that he would not be able to appear for it, and he did not feel morally right about the situation. Since he was a good student, his professor exempted him from appearing for that. So, Talimeren, obviously, he wanted to give that paper, wanted to make his village proud. So, he requested his principal and the professor, who was in charge of taking the exam, to exempt him from playing the matches. Exempt means to let him not be a part of the football match. And he also requested them to replace him with somebody else. Refusing to take no for an answer. So they refused, they said, we don't want any no from your side. You have to represent the college, you have to be the captain of the football match, and we will make sure that you be there. They told Talimeren that Mr. A.O., you have to lead the college by all means. By all means under any circumstances, you have to lead the college. You have to take care of the college's reputation and you have to make us win the match. Talimeren had appeared for all his papers. Only one paper was left. But since he had to go for that football match to Sylhet, that would clearly mean that he would not be able to give his last paper. Now, he did not find it morally correct. Morally, when your conscience, your heart does not allow you to do something. For a child who's very, very bright, who is very much academically brilliant, for that child, missing an exam is the biggest sin that you can ever think of. Yes. So, he did not feel that that was right. He did not want to miss his paper, but he had no other option. Since he was a good student, so what did his professor do? He told him that it's okay, since it is so important to play the football match. So his professor allowed him to not give that paper. So he did not miss the match, but he missed the paper. The Cotton College team beat the Murari Chand team by 1 goal in the first match by 2. The winning goal was scored by T.A.O., who defended the ball so skillfully that no forward player from the opponent team could get the ball fast. So, the Cotton College team won, Murari Chand team, they lost, and what was the score? It was 2-1. So, the Cotton College team had 2 goals and Murari Chand team had 1. Now, it was Dr. T.A.O., Dr. Talimeren, who had made the winning goal for the match. When he was taking the goal towards the goal post, he defended the ball. He protected the ball that he had with him so skillfully, so brilliantly, that none of the players of the opposite. So none of the player of the opposite team could take the ball away from him. The sensational news spread like wildfire among the Bengali football fans in and around Sylhet. The reason for this was that Murari Chand had beaten Cotton College for a colossal 13 straight years. Captain T.A.O. and his team were bringing the trophy back to Cotton College. So this very exciting news that Cotton College had won by 2-1 had spread like wildfire. Now, spread like wildfire is a proverb that we use in English to talk about something that spreads very, very quickly. We all know that a fire in a forest spreads as rapidly as you can imagine. So this news also spread across Bengal. Football fans, all the people of Sylhet were only talking about it. And why was everybody talking about it? Because Murari Chand College had been winning the football matches for colossal 13 years. Colossal means for the very long and continuous 13 years. So after 13 years, Cotton College team and the captain, Dr. T.A.O., they brought back the trophy to their college. The next day, the principal of Cotton College announced that T.A.O. had passed the examination, even before the official results were declared. People were curious about the talented young man, especially as his teammates spread the story that he was a Naga headhunter. T.A.O. became an enigma to his opponents, who were already in awe of his good physique and brilliant football moves. So, next day, when they won the match, the principal of the Cotton College announced that Talimeren A.O. had cleared his examinations. And this was surprising for everyone because the official results had not been announced. But despite that, Talimeren's result was announced by the principal. Now the people were very curious. They were very eager to know about this man who was so talented. And the major reason for their curiosity was that his teammates, the other students of the football team had spread the story that Talimeren was a Naga headhunter. Now, headhunter, this is something which used to exist very, very, very long time ago. People of Nagaland, the tribal people of the Nagaland, they used to cut the head of the animals and, just to please God. So this is a very old practice that used to take place in Nagaland. So this was a rumor. This was not true. Only his teammates had spread this news that he was a Naga headhunter. And thus Talimeren became an enigma. Enigma means he became a mystery to his opponents, to the rivals, to whosoever was there in front of him. They all, were always thinking about Talimeren and his life. And the major reason was that they were already in awe of his good physique and brilliant football moves. Awe means they were always surprised when they would look at Talimeren, because they could not imagine how could somebody have such a beautiful body, the perfect body, and such perfect football skills. It was his father's dying wish that T.A.O. become a doctor, and the young man went on to study medicine at R.G. Kar Medical College in Calcutta. When he played for the Maharana Club of Guwahati, A.O. had made friends with Sarat Das. By the time A.O. reached Calcutta, Sarat Das was already playing for Mohun Bagan. When Sarat Das learned that T.A.O. was in the city, he came rushing over to his hostel and took him along to register as a member of both Mohun Bagan Club and the Indian Football Association. So, Dr. T.A.O., the reason why he became a doctor, because when his father was dying, his last wish was that his son should become a doctor. And therefore, in order to fulfill the wish of his father, he came to study medicine, he came to become a doctor in Calcutta. And he studied at R.G. Kar Medical College. Now, when he played for the Maharana Club in Guwahati, when he would play for this club, in that club he made a friend whose name was Sarat Das. Now, Sarat Das, by the time A.O. reached Calcutta, so when A.O. had shifted to Calcutta for his studies, Sarat Das was already living there and he was a part of the Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan was the club of Calcutta. So, he was already a part of that club. When Sarat Das got to know that Talimeren was in the city, he came rushing over to his hostel. Rushing over very quickly, he came to Talimeren's hostel and he took him along so that he could register himself for both the member of the Mohun Bagan Club, he could become a member of the Mohun Bagan Club, as well as the Indian Football Association. T.A.O. was also inducted into the Mohun Bagan team, a fact that was immediately published in the local papers and publicized through the radio. For Mohun Bagan, it was a matter of great pride to announce the admission of a player of his caliber there. So, Dr. Talimeren was inducted. He was appointed. He was included in the Mohun Bagan Club. He was a part of their team. And this fact, the moment he became a part of the team, this got published in the newspapers and it was publicized. The publicity of this was done widely on the radio as well. For Mohun Bagan, it was a matter of great pride. Pride, something that makes you very happy and proud. So for the Mohun Bagan team, it was a great news that a person of such caliber means such talent, was a part of his team. So they were very happy to have Talimeren as a part of their team. This was possibly the turning point in A.O.'s career as a footballer, when Free India was to be represented as a country for the first time at the London Olympics in 1948. He was chosen as the undisputed captain of the Indian Football Association. India won the first match against Burma by default. The second match played against France would have ended in a draw, but in the last minute, after 89 minutes, France scored the winning goal and India lost. The barefooted Indian team and TAO in particular made a great impact on the world. He was given the title of Barefooted Genius. The team attended a press conference in London a few days later, where he was asked, "Mr. Ao, how do you play football without boots?" Ao replied, "I play football, not football." So, he, becoming a part of the Mohan Bagan team, proved to be a turning point in his life. Turning point that proved to be the most important part of his career as a footballer. When Free India was to be presented as a country for the first time at the London Olympics in 1948. So after getting the freedom in 1947, India, the Indian country, was to be represented as the part of a football team at the London Olympics in 1948. Who was the undisputed captain of the Indian Football Association? None other than Talimeren. Undisputed, somebody who cannot be defeated, somebody who cannot be put down by anyone. So Talimeren was the captain of the Indian football team, which represented the country for the first time after independence at the Olympics in the year 1940. So, India won the first match against Burma by default. So, by default means it was just a fortunate chance, it was just by chance that India won the first match against Burma. The second match was played against France. It would have been a draw, but in the last minute, and the writer has actually written last minute because he tells us that the match, which was 90 minutes long, after 89 minutes, France scored a goal and that made them win the match. So France won, India lost. But the barefooted Indian team, the Indian football team that used to play the football without any shoes, and specifically and particularly Talimeren AO, they made a great impact on the world. So the whole world was very impressed by them. He was given the title of Barefooted Genius. So he was even given the title of a genius who used to be barefooted. The team attended a press conference in London a few days later. So after a few days, after the London Olympics got over, the team attended a press conference in London. And there Talimeren was asked, "How do you play football without boots?" To this Talimeren replied that I play football and not boots. If I play football, I need foot to play, not boots. AO extensively toured Southeast Asia and other Asian countries. In Dhaka once, where his team was to play against a local team, he decided to stay out of the match to give his other teammates a chance. When he did not come out of the dressing room, the crowd became unruly and started shouting, "We want TAO, no TAO, no play." The angry spectators did not allow the other players to enter the room. The officials finally persuaded AO to play, and it was only when he emerged to join his friend that the mob frenzy subsided. So, the Talimeren extensively toured Southeast Asia. Extensively means he had visited each and every part of Southeast Asia and also the other Asian countries. Now, one incident has been narrated to us according to which once when he had gone to Dhaka to play against a local football team of Dhaka. He decided to stay out of the match to give his other teammates a chance. Now this is something that we've seen in all the games. When you see that the opposite team that you are playing with is not a very strong team, it is weaker than you, then the strong players at times do not play that game so that the other players can get a chance to experience. So the same thing was done by Talimeren also. He decided that he'd give chance to other players and so he'd stay out of the match. When he did not come out of the dressing room, so when for the match he did not come out of the dressing room, the crowd became unruly. They became mad, they became crazy and they started shouting that want Talimeren to, and if he's not playing the match, then there will be no match at all. The angry spectators did not allow the other players to enter the ground. Spectators means the audience. So the audience was so angry on seeing that Talimeren was not playing that they did not allow the other players to even enter the ground, the football ground. The officials finally persuaded AO to play. Convinced. So, the officials, the senior authority, finally they convinced Talimeren to play, because if he would not play, obviously the crowd would not have allowed anybody else to play. And it was when he emerged to join his friend. Came out. When he came out and when he was about to enter the ground to play with his friends, that the mob frenzy subsided. Mob means crowd. Frenzy means craziness. Subsided means coming down. So it was finally after Talimeren had come out to play the match that the crazy crowd, the crazy viewers of that match had actually become calm and were ready to enjoy the match and to let the players. It was not in AO's nature to steal the limelight, but it could not be denied that he was immensely popular. And that too at a time when Nagas were considered by most outsiders to be naked and this impression was completely turned around when Talimeren AO became a football player. People realized that contrary to their misconceptions, Nagas were actually a race of great valor and so Talimeren was not one sort of a person who would steal the limelight. Stealing the limelight means always remaining in the public. Okay, he was not one of those people who would always take the credit for everything and want himself to be publicized and always to be there in the newspapers and magazines. So he was not that sort of a person. But it could not be denied. But one could not deny the fact that he was immensely popular. That he was very, very popular. And especially because Nagas, in that time, Nagaland people were considered by most outsiders to be naked headhunters. So people had this conception, people had this opinion about the people of Nagaland that they were always naked, they never wore clothes and they used to hunt for the head of the ants. This impression, so this opinion that the people had about the people of Nagaland was completely turned around, that was totally changed when Talimeren became a football player. People realized that contrary to their misconceptions means the wrong ideas that they had in their mind for the people of Nagaland. So on the contrary, opposite to that, Nagaland were actually a race of great valor and integrity. The people of Nagaland was a race, these people were very, very valorous. Valor means they were very strong. They were very, very strong. And they were full of integrity. They were very honest. So this is what the people got to know about the people of Nagaland after they came to know Talimeren. Although he had a flourishing football career, A.O. did not neglect his studies and in 1950 passed the MBBS course. He was invited to join a foreign club, but he declined, choosing instead to live a simple life among his people. So, although he had a flourishing football career, which was flourishing. Flourishing means it was growing. There was no looking back on him. But he did not neglect his studies. Despite being such a famous footballer, he never sidelined his studies. And in 1950, he passed his MBBS. He was invited to join a foreign club. So the foreign Arsenal, we all know, is a very famous football club which is there in the European countries. But he said no to it, choosing instead to live a simple life among his people. He said that I am happy the way I am. I am a simple man and I would like to live my life as simply as I can. In 1952, he joined Dibrugarh Medical College as Registrar ENT. The next year, the government of Assam transferred him to Kohima as Assistant Surgeon. At this time, Nagaland was still a part of Assam. So, in 1952, Talimeren joined the Dibrugarh Medical College as Registrar ENT. ENT, ear, nose, throat specialist. The next year, the government of Assam transferred him to Kohima, and in Kohima he had the title of an assistant surgeon. And at that time, that is the year 1952, Nagaland was a part of Assam. Now Nagaland and Assam are two different countries, but at that time they were a part of one. They were two, okay? So despite his innumerable preoccupations as a director of health services, a position he retained till his retirement in 1978. Dr. A.O.'s zeal for the game never diminished. He was made a member of the All India Council of Sports in 1972, a rare honor bestowed on men who have distinguished themselves in the field of sports and games. In 1968-69, he was selected a member of the All India Football Selection Committee. He also served as an executive member of the All India Council of Sports and member secretary of the Nagaland State Sports Council. It was largely due to his untiring efforts that the Nagaland Football Association and the Nagaland Badminton Association have been recognized and affiliated at the national level. So, despite his innumerable preoccupations, innumerable means something that cannot be counted. Preoccupations means he was busy with a lot of different things. He was the director of health services and he held this position till his retirement in 1978. So till the time he retired in the year 1978, he was the director of health services. Dr. A.O.'s zeal for the game never diminished. Zeal means energy, the enthusiasm that Talimeren had for his game that never diminished. Diminish means that never reduced, that never came. He was made a member of the All India Council of Sports in 1972. So, All India Council of Sports, he'd become a member of it in 1972. This was a rare honor bestowed on men who have distinguished themselves in the field of sports. Rare means something which is not very common. Bestowed means to be given. Honor means respect. So this respect is given only to a very, very few people who prove themselves to be distinguished, to be very special, to be very talented in the field of sports. In 1968-69, he was selected a member of All India Football Selection Committee. He also served as an executive member of the All India Council of Sports and the member secretary of the Nagaland State Sports Council. It was due to his untiring efforts. So the efforts that he always took, in order to play well, in order to make sure that this game and our country is always proud, made him that the Nagaland Football Association and the Nagaland Badminton Association have been recognized and affiliated at. So it was only because of Talimeren AO that Nagaland Football Association and Badminton Association became recognized at the national level. It is something that was not very. After retiring from government service, Dr. A.O. settled in Dimapur. He once requested the Mohun Bagan club to send a team to Kohima for a friendly match. Before the match, one of the officials is said to have asked, "Well, Dr. A.O., you are a life member for the Mohun Bagan club, and today Mohun Bagan is playing against Nagaland. Which team do you support?" Dr. T.A.O. promptly replied, "Well, Mohun Bagan is playing against the Nagas, and I am a Naga first. To every Naga's delight, the Nagaland 11 team won the match." So, after he had retired from his government service, Dr. Talimeren settled in Dimapur, which is in Nagaland. Once he had requested the Mohun Bagan club to send a team of footballers to Kohima for a football match, for a friendly football match between the Mohun Bagan club and the footballers of Nagaland. Before the match, the officials, one of the senior members asked that, "Mr. A.O., you are a life member of the Mohun Bagan club. You are a lifetime member of Mohun Bagan club. And today, that club is playing against Nagaland. So, which of the two teams are you going to support?" To this, Dr. Talimeren very promptly replied. Promptly means immediately. So, immediately he replied that Mohun Bagan is playing against the Nagas and I am a Naga first. And to every Naga's delight, every Naga person was happy and delighted to know that Nagaland 11 team won the match. They defeated the Mohun Bagan club by 1. In 1956, Dr. T.A.O. married a staff nurse, Dekhem Dungal, whom he had met in Kohima. They were blessed with 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. He aged gracefully, occasionally attending sports tournaments as the chief guest. He passed away in Dimapur on 13 September 1998 after a brief illness. Dr. A.O. left behind a legacy of laudable achievements that speak volumes for themselves. At a time when there were particularly no facilities available, he set himself as an example of a man whose hard work, curious and observant mind, and total commitment led to his achieving excellence in the twin disciplines of sports and academics. He did it because he was willing to go to that extra. So in 1956, Dr. Talimeren A.O. married a staff nurse whose name was Jacqueline Dongle. Now he had met her in Kolkata. They were blessed with 4 children, so they had 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. He aged gracefully. Aged means he became old, but very gracefully, very beautifully. He reached his old age. He used to attend the sports tournaments very, very occasionally. After short intervals, he used to be a part of the sports tournaments. He used to be a chief guest for them. He passed away in Dimapur on 13 September 1998 after a brief illness. So he was not well, and after that illness, he passed away. Dr. A.O. left behind a legacy of laudable achievement. Laudable, something which is appreciated by anyone and everyone. Legacy means something which is passed on to generation, from generation to generation. So the achievements that Dr. Talimeren had in his basket were so huge that from generation to generation people are being told about this great man. At a time when there were particularly no facilities available, so we are talking about a time when there was no facility altogether, he set himself. He was an example of hard work, of curious and observant mind, a person who was always curious, who was always excited to know and to learn more, and was very observant. He used to pay a lot of attention on everything. And total commitment. He was committed to his things, to his achieving excellence in the twin disciplines of sports and academics. So not only was he a sportsman, not only was he a footballer, but a brilliant doctor as well. He did it because he was willing to go that extra mile. So the only reason why he could do both the things together, and that too with such beauty, was because he was ready to take that courage, because he was hardworking and devout. Olympians like Dr. T.A.O. may be unsung, unrewarded and unrecognized, but they do not need trophies or awards or appreciation. Sailen Manna put it best in a recent interview. At that time, he played football for the love of the game. They are men who lead by example, and Dr. T.A.O.'s exemplary life makes him a legend that never ceases to inspire. His name remains alive, and it is time the youth of Nagaland rises to fill the vacuum left by. So the Olympians. Olympians are those people who played the Olympics. So Olympians like Dr. Talimeren may be unsung. Unsung means those people who are not being talked about much. They are unrewarded. They did not get all the rewards and appreciation that they deserve, and unrecognized. Not many people would know about it. But these people are such great personalities that they do not need a trophy or an award for appreciation. Now, Sailen Manna, an interviewer, had recently quoted that at that time, the time of Dr. Talimeren, we people used to play football for love of the game, not for. They are the men who lead by example. These people like Dr. Talimeren are the people who lead their life by example. They are an example for one and all. And Dr. Talimeren is exemplary life. Exemplary, something which is extraordinary, brilliant life, makes him a legend. Legend, somebody who can never be forgotten. that never ceases to inspire. Ceases, stops. So he is somebody whose story, whose life would never stop to inspire, to motivate people. His name remains alive. His name is still there. Everybody still remembers him, and it is time the youth of Nagaland rises to fill the vacuum left there. Vacuum means the empty space. So now that Dr. Talimeren is no more, the empty space which is left by him in the football matches, in the football game, the writer says that it is time that the people, the young people of Nagaland, strive to reach that. They strive to achieve the respect, the honor, the beauty of what Dr. Talimeren had. And with this, my dear students, we come to the end of the explanation of the chapter. So we have read about Dr. Talimeren life. We read how, since the very early ages, he was recognized as a good footballer. He got a good motivation and inspiration from it. When in college, it was the Cotton College, he was a part of the captain of the football team. He, being a good student, did not wish to miss his exam, but he was forced to do it because his principal wanted him to represent his college. They went to Sylhet to play against the Murari Chand College, and after 13 years, they got the trophy back. Everybody was very curious to know about this man who was not only physically so fit, but also a brilliant-minded person. People had spread rumors against him that he was a Naga headhunter, but all these rumors were rubbished after they saw his achievements. It was the wish of his dying father that he should become a doctor, and thus he proceeded towards Calcutta to pursue his studies in the field of medicine. He also was a part of the Mohun Bagan Club in Calcutta and became a part of the Indian Association. From that time, there was no looking back. He became an ace footballer who represented India in the London Olympics in the year 1948. And although India lost the match, did not get any spot, but Dr. Talimeren and his teammates, they got a huge appreciation from everyone across the world. We've also read that even after retiring, he continued to be a part of the football association. He continued to be connected with the football matches and this game which he loved so beautifully. We read about his wife and his beautiful family. He passed away, and then even after his death, the people of Nagaland and everyone across the world remember Dr. Talimeren for his brilliant talent, for the kind of man he was, and specifically because he was a man who outshone in both academics as well as sports. So he was and will always continue to be an inspiration for millions of people. So my dear students, we come to the end of the explanation now. The back exercises of this chapter I'll cover with you people in the next part of my video. So I'll see you all now in my next lecture. Thank you.